your morning blues?
you're hurting hard.
Pick this song on purpose.
And you feel so lonely,
I get it.
but you keep on hiding, cause you feel so guilty for what you've done. But there's no distance too far, I can't reach you. There's no place that's so dark, I can't find you anywhere like you are. If you need me, take a look at these stars. I know I love you. Doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what you've done. You will never too far gone.
I am! I'm so glad you're here! We got some great things to talk about today as we have people join us. Hi, Karen!
Down every road,
I know you've tried everything.
and you've lost your way back home.
You're not a lost cause.
And you feel so dirty, you know you're unworthy, feeling undeserving for any love. But there's no distance too far, and I can't reach you. There's no place that's so dark, I can't find you.
I'm here for you. I get it. There's a way out of this. We're going to talk about that today.
Take a look at these scars. I know I love you. Doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what you've done. You are never too far gone.
Hello, ladies. Hello, guys. Hi, Jessica. Glad you're here.
You will never outrun my love, my love, my love.
Are we ready to jump into this
You will
today?
never outrun my love, my love.
Another second here.
You will never outrun my love, my love, my love. You will never outrun my love. There's no distance too far, I can't reach you. There's no place that's so dark.
All right, guys. I wanted to play that song today because I know with the new year, you might be thinking, oh, just one more diet, or I don't have another diet in me. And if that's you, you are in the right place. Today, I'm going to be sharing my story really for the first time in such a public way. I've never done it before. And unless you've come to some of my motivational speaking talks, outside of that, you probably haven't heard my full story. And so I really want to invite you to stick around today because I want to share with you from a deep level and just a total transparency about where I've come and where I've gone and what it took to really heal emotional eating. You guys, I mean really heal. It does not need to be a place of obsession for the rest of your life. It does not. It doesn't mean you need to even journal your foods for the rest of your life or weigh yourself for the rest of your life. I want you to stop thinking about all of that and just get back to living and what's important. So I'm going to dive in here. And if you have any comments or questions for me, please feel free to put them in the comments below. And I'd also, if you're watching the replay, comment replay and also what your biggest takeaway is. I want to connect with you here. Okay, guys, so let's jump into this. So, how did I get to this place? Well, my journey really started from a very young age. And I grew up in a domestic violent home and where my parents had a very toxic relationship. And through that place, I remember even just being 4 years old and feeling really unsafe and hypervigilant. And just from a place of survival. And then at the age of 4, I was abandoned, and my father raised me from 4 years old to 15. And my father really struggled with his mental health, and I didn't know this at the time. Hi, Amy. Hi, Julie. Glad you're here. I didn't know this at the time, but my father struggled with paranoid schizophrenia, and he was not medicated. And multiple occasions, we were taken away from my father with CPS several times and given back. But I really grew up in a home where I heard things 5 years old, 4 years old, 12 years old. You're so ugly. You're fat. No wonder your mom didn't want you. and just really, really tough things to hear. And it chipped away at my sense of self-worth. Absolutely chipped away at that. And I felt shame about my body. In addition to that, I suffered physical abuse, and also for about 6 years in my childhood, I also suffered and endured sexual abuse. And I want to share that because it was a big part of my journey. And so many of my clients, they have also had some type of abuse in their past, and this is why emotional eating happens. So I felt dirty, I felt ugly, I felt unworthy, everything in the song that I played for you guys this morning. And then finally at the age of 15, we were taken in by our mom. And, it was just, we went from one abusive situation to the next. And she had a very, very abusive boyfriend, physically abusive and very emotionally and controlling. And so I ended up running away. I want you to hear this piece of it. This is an important part of the story, and also how to start the healing process is I got pissed. I got pissed. I got pissed because I was like, I am so tired of people abusing me. No more. I don't want people to abuse me anymore. And so I ran away, and on the run, I got pregnant. So at 16, I was pregnant, and then at 17, I had my daughter, my baby girl. And we lived in a homeless teen shelter for about 2.5 years. And all during this time, I flipped from emotional eating and eating everything because I had this hole in me of feeling unworthy and unlovable. Like, what's wrong with me? My own parents don't love me. How could I, there's something really wrong with me. And just feeling this deep sense of shame and just emptiness and hole, and always looking for something outside of myself to fill in the gaps, to make me happier, to feel more worthy. And a lot of the times it was food. I remember living with my dad, and while he was away in one of his episodes, because he also struggled with bulimia, so while he was in the bathroom in one of his episodes, I would sneak into the kitchen and get some ice cream and shove it into my face because there was control around eating. I wasn't allowed to have those foods. And or sneak some cookies and just eat them in real fast. And that really started some secret eating for me. And then at 17, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I had a thing with Swiss rolls, and I ate Swiss rolls and ate Swiss rolls. Hi, Stacy. And couldn't stop eating them because now I had this freedom of being on my own at 17, having my own apartment and working and everything. In the homeless teen shelters, that I had all this access to food. And so because I felt unworthy, and I hated my body. I felt disgusted with my body. And at one point I actually felt like I didn't want to be here anymore on this earth because I hated my body so much. And so I really get how the struggle is and the shame. And I flipped from emotional eating and binge eating to anorexia, and just remember being so thin at 15 and just wanting some attention and some love, and not knowing how to get that. But again, just felt abandoned in so many ways. So at 17 and a half, I decided, I need to stand tall for my daughter. Yes, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to be a single mom, a homeless teen mom, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to take great care of her. And when she was born, I just felt this immense love for her automatically. I wanted to protect her. I wanted to love her. I wanted to do everything I could to be the best mom that I could be. And I remember feeling that was a huge piece of a shift for me, because I realized I came into this world with all the love and the glory and the beauty. Also, I was lovable. But my parents have deficiencies in being able to love me the way that I needed. And so I took the shame out of my experience by doing that and really seeing that literally my father struggles with mental health and many other things. And so he is incapable to love me. So that's how I shifted from victim mentality to a place of, let me take my power back, and I am worthy and I am lovable. I just was dealt a different form, a different hand, and I'm going to choose to do something different now moving forward. That was the start. I got pissed. I was like, I am not going to be abused anymore. I got angry, and then I decided that I am lovable and that my parents just weren't able to love me the way that I needed. Those were the two things that were really powerful for me. It didn't stop there. I didn't know how to cope with my feelings, because as children, that's what our parents are meant to do, is be there and be responsive and be loving and teach us how to feel our feelings and that it's safe to do so and to express ourselves. And I had the opposite of that. So I didn't know how to feel my feelings. So I still emotionally ate and used food and felt out of control with it. Tried all the diets under the sun. I tried everything. And I ended up, you probably have seen this, dieting my way up the scale. So if you can see, whoop, there's me on this side here, where I was about 50 pounds heavier than where I'm at right now. And I felt miserable and exhausted all the time. And finally, I remember sitting in my driveway and deciding, I have to learn how to feel my feelings. I could go on another diet and just have another devastation and feel exhausted and depleted. I could totally do that. And I knew what would happen. And so I decided that being 50 pounds heavier than where I'm at right now was absolutely uncomfortable, but the misery of being in obsession about food and weight and hating myself and always think about, when am I going to be able to eat next? What am I going to eat next? How am I going to stay on track? Am I going to be able to stay on track? Was absolutely downright miserable, that I wanted a different life. And so my mindset was, come heck or high water, even if I gain a little bit more weight in the beginning process of feeling my feelings and learning emotional tools to do that, so be it. Because I trust that when I heal emotional eating, I won't have the craving and the need to eat 10 Swiss rolls or eat sugar with the spoon out of a bag like I used to do when I couldn't find something sweet to do, or eat a bag of M&Ms, like the party size, not the shareable size, the party size. I would eat it all in one sitting. Okay, so, or a half a loaf of bread in one sitting. You know, I wouldn't have that urge to do that anymore if I really healed the emotional eating. And so I went after that. I chose to face the emotions that would come up with staying at a heavier set point. And by accepting my body and loving my body and having gratitude for it, even 50 pounds heavier, I started the process of healing emotional eating, and my body started to adjust. I didn't eat as much food. I wanted to move my body more, and I was able to get to the other side of emotional eating. And you guys, I'm going through something that's pretty dang tough right now. I am in the thick of some stuff that's tough, but I am not emotional eating. And in fact, I would actually have to say I'm happier than I've ever been. And it's because these tools work. It's because the emotional eating has really been healed. And so I want that for you guys, to be able to walk through difficult times in life and to walk through it with more ease, with more presence, with more peace, and know you're going to make it through that. Hi, Ruth. So glad you're here. So that is my story. I did go through some counseling for the sexual abuse that I endured, absolutely. And I also went to Overeaters Anonymous, Food Addicts Anonymous, all the weight loss places you could think. I actually researched and talked with people at an inpatient services for eating disorders, and counselors that were specialized in disordered eating and emotional eating. And for me, I did not see the results and freedom that I needed. There was this essence of you need to stop the emotional eating. And that right there is the problem. We can't just say stop emotional eating. Because if I were to say that to you, what's the feeling in your body? Panic. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do without my food? Or a gung-ho approach of, okay, this time I'm really going to do it. And that mindset we really want to get out of, right? So, so what we need to do instead is add in the emotional tools first, and then the emotional eating starts to just fall away. There's no struggle. There's no struggle. There's no obsession. It doesn't have to be difficult. It actually becomes a place of joy to be able to take a look at this stuff. And we start unblocking your joy with the relationship with food, and you feel better. You feel present. You feel whole. You feel whole and secure, and I want that for you. So, then I was a youth counselor for at-risk youth, and that was absolutely amazing because it was like a full circle for me because I was an at-risk youth. And then I was a program director and a center director for a major weight loss corporation. And I absolutely loved my staff. I loved my clients. I loved what the company was trying to do. And at the same time, what I saw was so many people coming back in, gaining their weight back, gaining their weight back, gaining their weight back. And each time clients came back, they would be higher up on the scale, they would feel more shame about their body, and they would feel more exhausted. And their next attempt with trying to follow the weight loss protocol and program and weight loss process would be futile because they would be drained and they would feel shameful about it. And I really want to help you get out of the shame around eating. I want you to know that that freedom is possible, and we have to take a look at the emotional tools. So in my next few Facebook Lives, I'm going to be talking about the 5 puzzle pieces to healing emotional eating, and they are on my website. You're welcome to check out. I do have 4 of the short videos on my website, but we're going to be talking about them a little bit more in depth. So I hope this inspires you to just know there's hope. There is hope for you. We just have to go about it a different way. Another diet is not the solution because emotional eating, stress eating is not a food problem. It's not a food problem, hun. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be here, right? We would even be here. We would have America would be full of healthy, fit people, or just not struggling with eating challenges. But it's not a food problem. It is emotional regulation, mindset, and really an inside job. And I can help you walk through that process. So I'd love to point you to a few resources. In the description, there's 2 resources here today, 2 links. So the first link you're going to see is, if you want to, you can get my 30 days of daily boost. It's totally free, and it is, if you like these, you're going to like that as well. It is absolutely incredible. I poured out my heart in that. All of it is written by me, and you'll get a daily boost every morning. And that's just going to be an extra thing to jumpstart your mindset. So you're welcome to click that link and sign up for that. And then the other thing is if you're feeling like, you know, I kind of want to try this Blissfully Healthy thing out, please go ahead and connect with me with the link below. That is my scheduler. And we could get you enrolled in a $97 program to jumpstart your mindset. It's just 30 days just to try it out for $97. You'll get the first 2 sessions of my Living Blissfully Healthy program, and you get an hour session with me so we can work on your stuff. Like, why is it your emotional eating? Let's get an individualized game plan for you to get started. And you'll also get a support with an online community and access to me consistently through those 30 days. So those are the 2 things I'd love to point you to if that's of interest to you. So what are your biggest takeaways from hearing my story today? I would love to hear from you. Comment below and let me know, what are your biggest takeaways? Are you seeing yourself in parts of my story? And I do want to mention, as we close our time together today, that you don't necessarily have had to gone through trauma like I have It could literally be, hearing your teacher in second grade say, Susie is struggling with reading and she's just needs to be in the red group because she's struggling with reading, and so we're going to take her out of the blue group, right? Like, it can be something like that, where it's a little T trauma and not the big T trauma like I've gone through. We all have things like that. But what we want to do is take a look at it to heal it, so you're not looking outside of yourself with food and diet, because diet is a way to not feel, is that thinking, and we use that to try to self-soothe. I am so excited to be here with you guys in these 30 days. I hope this is enjoyable. I love this. This is absolutely so fun for me. So comment below what your biggest takeaways are. And if you have any questions for me, please feel free to comment those below too. And I would love to answer some of those in the upcoming Facebook Lives. So you are invited to say this last part with me. So until we connect again tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m., you are invited to stop dieting and start living, because a blissfully healthy lifestyle does not have an expiration date, and you are worth it. Have a good rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.